Hey there, hey there, hey there. Welcome, weary traveler, to my humble cave, also known as the Party Pen. We clap for you. Welcome. Welcome. You are way, way beyond bizarre world. You just passed the Twilight Zone. What else did you do? Oh, yeah, you saw some chick.
I love it. You guys are so great.
And then you made a right. You thought it was a whorehouse.
Ding, ding.
Turns out it's a party pen. We go for you, welcome. Welcome. And what we do here in this most amazing place, we read this trilogy known as God Said What? Yeah, because that's what he said, and he didn't say any of that shit in any of these books. Fight me or show me where it is. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, we are on book 2 of the trilogy. It's called No. Who? Wait. Jesus, comma, who? Question mark. Yeah, I should write this shit down because I'm a fucking genius. And I'm really bad on the fly. So welcome. You never know what the fuck is gonna happen here. Oh, and raccoons might come in because I don't have any food for them. So they're going to come in and ask for cheese because I was giving them cheese. Don't tell Dustin though, because Dustin will get mad that I gave him cheese. But I'm telling you, they were so happy and they touched my hand. Yeah, they said thank you for the cheese. Well, they didn't exactly say that, but in my mind, they said that, so that might count. Anyway, we are on Luke. It's in the second book of this trilogy, and I can't find it because, well, I think I lost my mind somewhere. Maybe a raccoon ate it. Listen, I don't know what's happening, but we're gonna fucking figure it out. So, welcome. Let me know where you're coming in from, what you're drinking, and what you're smoking. I am drinking my mega pint, no, my Johnny Depp mega pint coffee. Yeah, because it's not making me sick anymore. So, I'm drinking mega pints of coffee. Yeah, and I'm still smoking something called Fudge Sickle. And I'm smoking roll your own cigarettes because I'm a broke bitch. Yeah, fight me. I don't give a shit. We have a good time. So, hey, hey, Firefly. Hey, Nicole's Law. Welcome. You guys are way on time. Oh, I bet you they're good roaches. I'm almost out of roaches, which is sad because we're also not going to Michigan for a while. Yeah. We got to get cat food and raccoon food before we can think about going to get pot. So, got to feed the babies. What are you guys drinking? You lovely couple, Firefly and Nicole's Law. We were wet. Oh man. Yeah, this can be day night show. We have good time. I'll try to be extra funny. So when you guys get freaky, you'll have something to laugh at. It'll be a good time. Yeah. I'll be the third wheel in your bed this evening. Ha ha. Yeah. Look at me go. Man, I'm going places. Man. I'm going places I didn't even know I was going to go. That's even better. This spaceship is amazing. They do hit rough in the bowl. I ain't even gonna lie. That's why you roll them into joints. Yeah. But it's a very long process to roll roaches into joints. It's almost not worth it. Never mind. Anyway, hey, I saw that. No, listen, I told you I am terrified of vagina. That shit has teeth. No way. I don't even like my own vagina, but I wouldn't trade it for a pecker any day. I'm in bed drinking up the vibes and smoking this vibe. I don't even know what that means, but let's go to the beach. Fuck yeah. We'll take this spaceship to the beach. Yeah, I wonder if there's a beach thingy. Hold on, we're gonna find out. We'll go to the beach if I know what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing. Well, we don't have a beach, but we have the ocean. Yeah. Wait, wait. Oh, we can go to the mountains. What else can we do? We can do everything but go to the beach. Yeah. Wait, what was that? Oh, yeah, that was a mountain. Oh, look, we could go into heaven. Look, oh, we could go through the wormhole. Yeah, there's a fucking wormhole. Yeah. Wait, what happened? We'll do that. We won't do that. Oh, yeah. Look, we're in the ocean. We're going in the ocean. Those are air bubbles. Hey, I bet she does. Look, hey, Miss Muddy, did you see we're in the ocean? Because we can't go to the beach. I don't remember why we wanted to go to the beach, but oh, look, they have a new living room set. Yeah. Oh, isn't that the old one? No, that's the new one. Yeah. But I don't know. I kind of like the ocean one. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Man, that's weird. I don't know. That's going to keep my attention for days. Yeah, maybe it'll keep your guys' attention for days. So you'll pay attention to what I'm saying while we're floating through the universe. It's okay. Swimming is for swimmers, and swimmers are not us. That works. Listen, it's a good time. But listen, everybody press like and subscribe and chat in the chat. We are going on to Luke chapter 6. Oh, that's good. Yeah. So let's smoke it, read it, and drink it. Our Johnny Depp mega pints of coffee. Yeah. Oh shit. First, we have to take our off. We have to take off our Devon Dudley sunglasses and read this here book and hope a raccoon doesn't come in. Listen. Now it came about on that certain Sabbath. He was walking through grain fields on the way to one of his concerts. And his disciples were picking and eating the heads of the grain, rubbing them in their hands. Yeah, okay, whatever we do. But some of the Pharisees said, Jesus is about to mic drop a motherfucker. Okay. Says, why do you break the law? Right, on the Sabbath. And Jesus, being so fucking funny, he said, okay, this story is not right. Either they're not saying everything Jesus said in the whole context, because Jesus, this story is definitely not what happened. Because there was nobody with David. David was lying so he could get some food. There was nobody with David because he had to leave quickly by himself. Anyway, I'm not saying anything other than these people should have known that, although they don't read Das Bible, so they wouldn't even notice the slip up right there. And I think Jesus was doing that to test them, to see if they really read Das Bible or not. Okay. So Jesus said, have you not read what David did when he was hungry? He and those who were with him. There was nobody with him. How he entered the house of God and took and ate the consecrated bread, which is not lawful for any to eat except the priests. Except the priests alone, and gave it to his companions. That's not what happened. That is what happened. Jesus said it. It has to be what happened. What they wrote in the Old Testament is not what happened. But there was nobody with David. And as a matter of fact, when that happened, a whole priest city was destroyed. Like, that is a very significant story because this guy named Doeg, whatever, told on David, and then Saul went looking for David. But when David was where he's at, that's when all the people came to him. It was after that. And then that's when Saul came and all that kind of shit happened. Well, it was a whole story and we already read it. But anyway, I'm not exactly sure, but really I think this is a test. I think this was Jesus testing these people. And he was saying to them, the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath and also Lord of the Floors. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that. And it came about on another Sabbath that he was having his concert and he was teaching there. And a man whose right hand was withered. Yeah. And the scribes and the Pharisees left him there for a trap to see if Jesus would heal him on the Sabbath in order that they might accuse him. But he knew what they were thinking, and he said to the man, rise and come forward. And Jesus said to them, I ask you, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or harm, to save a life or destroy it? And after looking around at them all, he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And he did so, and his hand was fine. But they themselves were filled with rage and discussed together what they might do to Jesus. You should give him fellatio, because I'm sure he might enjoy that, fuckers. And it was said at this time that he went off to the mountain to pray, and he spent the whole night in prayer to God. And when day came, he called his disciples on the phone and was like, "Come up here." And then he chose 12 of them, whom he also named apostles. Simon, whom he named Peter, and Andrew his brother, James and John, the sons of thunder, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, Simon, who's a zealot. So I don't know why he would be with Jesus if he's a zealot, but okay. Judas, the son of James, and Judas Iscariot, and he descended with them and stood on a level place. And there was a great multitude of his disciples, a great throng of people from all Judea and Julian and the coastal region of Tyre and Sidon, who had came to hear him and to be healed of their diseases. And those who were troubled with unclean spirits were being cured, and all the multitude were trying to touch him, for his power was coming from him and healing them all. And turning his gaze on his disciples, he began to say, okay, this is the Sermon on the Mount. So let's see how they do this. Wait. Hold on. Wait, I don't know what I was saying. Anyway. Oh, yeah, this can be the Sermon on the Mount. But I don't know if it's the same as the one in Matthew. But it says, "Blessed are you who are poor. Yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are you who hunger, for you shall be satisfied. Blessed are you who weep now, for you will laugh. Blessed are you when men hate you and ostracize you and cast insults at you and spurn your name as evil for the sake of the Son of Man." I just know I love you no matter what. Yeah, I love you no matter what. Okay. Be glad in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way their fathers used to treat the prophets. But woe to you who are rich, for you are receiving your comfort in full. Woe to you who are well fed, for you will be hungry. Woe to you who laugh now, for you will mourn and mourn and weep. The fuck was I gonna say? I don't fucking know. Woe to you when all men speak well of you, for in the same way, hold on, And the same way their fathers used to treat the false prophets. Oh, wait till you hear the story about those guys. We haven't got that far in the Old Testament yet, but look, it's a thing. Yeah. Especially with this chick called Jezebel. She loved the fake prophets. Look, it's a whole thing. They cut themselves and dance in their own blood. It's some shit. Just wait till you hear about it. I'm telling you, it's wild. But I say to you who hear, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. Kill them with kindness, motherfucker. Yeah. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. Whoever hits you on the cheek, also offer him the other. And then, two-piece of motherfucker, make sure you uppercut him in the nose, and the nose bone goes right between the eyes. And then it sticks on the brain, and then bam! Bet you they won't be doing that no more. Not advice, just saying. That's an illegal move. When you hit somebody's nose up, bang, their nose bone goes into their brain. Yeah, it's like a whole thing. Okay. Anyway. And whoever takes away your coat, do not withhold your shirt from him either. Hang out with the titties out. Fuck yeah. Give everyone who asks of you, and whoever takes away what is yours, do not demand it back. And just as you want, what? And just as you want people to treat you, oh my God. Wow, I just got tired all of a sudden. Okay. And just as you want people to treat you, treat them in the same way. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. Oh, good night, Neil. I'm sorry you can't stay. I'm almost done with this. Well, at least with this chapter. And you do good to those who do good to you. What credit is that to you? For even sinners do that. And if you lend to those, and if you lend, holy crap. And if you lend to those whom you expect to receive, and if you lend to those from whom you expect to receive, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners in order to receive back the same amount. But love your enemies and do good and lend, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great. And you will be sons of the Most High, for he himself is kind to ungrateful and evil men. Be merciful, just as your Father is, and do not judge, and you will not be judged. And do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Pardon, and you will be pardoned. Give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Man, okay. they will pour into your lap, for by your standard of measure, it will be measured to you in return. And he also spoke a parable. A blind man cannot guide a blind man, can he? Won't they both fall into a pit? A pupil is not above his teacher, but everyone after he has been fully trained will be like his teacher. And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take out the speck that is in your eye, when you do not see the log that is in your own eye? You hypocrite, you pieces of shit. First, take the log out of your own eye. Then you will see clearly to take out the thing in your brother's eye. For there is no good tree that produces bad fruit. Not, on the other hand, a bad tree, for there is no good tree which produces bad fruit. Nor, on the other hand, a bad tree which produces good fruit. For each tree is known by its own fruit. For men do not gather figs from thorns or grapes from briar bushes. The good man out of the good treasure of his heart brings forth what is good, and the evil man out of the evil treasure, what? Out of the evil, and the evil man out of the evil treasure brings forth what is evil, for his mouth speaks from that which fills his heart. And why do you call me Lord, and do not do what I say? Everyone who comes to me and hears my words and acts upon them, I will show you who he's like. He is like a man building a house who dug a deep and is like a man building a house who dug deep and laid foundation upon the rock. And when the flood rose, the torrent burst against that house and could not shake it, because it had been well built. But the one who is hurt and not acted accordingly is like a man who built a house upon the ground without any foundation, and the torrent burst against it, and immediately it collapsed, and the ruin of that house was great. Okay, that's chapter 6. So, what's everybody thinking? What do you think about that chapter? Okay. Should I read back in chat? Was anybody talking to me? I don't know. Okay. It's a lot of reading. I guess if anybody has anything for me, we're taking a smoke break. And I'm going to share this with Wheel. Did you guys see my subscriber count went up? And that was really awesome. Okay, Ricky. Let's see if we can find wheels. I'm going to force wheels to come in here early. Let's see. Okay. Yep. Okay. So take off all your clothes. Wait, what's happening? Who are we congratulating? Yeah. Hmm. As a matter of fact, while we're taking a break, I'm going to cut in here and say I gave the raccoons cornflakes, and they are not very impressed with cornflakes. I gave them. Oh, that's what you're congratulating. Never mind, Firefly. I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, I gave the raccoons cheese. Don't tell Dawson I gave them cheese, though. But man, they fucking love that. Oh, yeah. They was grabbing my leg. They put a hole in my dress. They really liked the cheese. But they did not care too much for wavy potato chips or cornflakes or plain bread. They they're not a big fans of human food. So I'm gonna do well, yeah, it would be my monthly thing of asking somebody to be my animal sugar daddy because my animals need a sugar daddy. Yeah, don't judge me, but they'll dance naked for you. Well, you know what? They would be naked because hold on. Oh yeah, because they're already naked. So if you feel like helping me feed nature's outcasts, I would greatly appreciate it. And I promise I will not buy cigarettes or weed, but I might buy ice cream. Just gonna put that out there. Now, enough of me. Um, what is it called? What do they call that? Grifting. Enough of me grifting for my animals. I appreciate every single one of you. And I love my animals. Just I just can't afford so many of them. Why'd they have so many babies? Man, they had so many babies. And they got these little fat, stubby tails. And they're getting so fat. Man, and the baby possum has gotten really fat. But he'll eat human food. He don't give a shit. And he's gotten so big. And the baby groundhogs have gotten big. You can tell they're babies. But they've gotten pretty big. I want the tomatoes to grow for them so they can get even bigger. Yeah. But enough of me grifting for my animals. What are we drinking and smoking now? Wait, where'd everybody go? Don't leave me because I was grifting for my animals. I swear I wasn't going to buy cigarettes. Wait. Uh, doesn't my PayPal pop up? It does, I think. Right? Does it pop up? I don't know what's happening. But, girls, the only thing I'm going to say is, oh, yeah, it does show up. Okay. The only thing I'm going to say is don't fuck up your rent. Hey, Nicole. Oh, shit. Is that your picture? I want to look at you real quick. Because you girls are really pretty. Go to channel so I can see your face. Oh, look at that. Oh, you got a channel. Oh, and you like Yoko. Oh, no. Look at that. Aren't you a chick? Yeah. Axel Foley. Is he related to Mick Foley? Yeah. Probably not, though. Not everything is about wrestling. But really, it is if you think about it. Everything's about wrestling. Hey, Feather, look, you ain't been here in a hot second. How are you? We're on a smoke break. Uh, we're on a smoke break. We're about to go to chapter 7 of Luke. Like, literally about to go into chapter 7 of Luke. Does anybody want to hit this bowl with me one time before we go back on this journey? Well, actually, before we go back on this story, do you want to take a smoke break real quick? Jesus is moving too fast. Hey, all right. No texting while driving, Muddy. No, that's Henry. Say hi, Henry.
Hey.
Okay. So now we're going to go on to chapter 7. Okay. When he had completed all his discourse in the hearing of the people, he went to Capernaum, and a certain centurion slave, who is highly regarded by him, was sick and about to die. And when he heard about Jesus, he sent some of the terrible as God people's elders asking him to come and save his slave. And when they had come to Jesus, they earnestly entreated him, saying, "We're not going to try to save you when you get crucified, but do you think you could do us a solid? I mean, we're not even going to attempt to save you, but can you do us a solid?" That's not what they said, but they did ask him to help this guy slave. And then they said, "Save him because he loves our nation." And it was the one who built us our synagogue. And it was he who built us our synagogue. Okay. Well, I don't know. One guy built. No, I'm pretty sure. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what synagogue they're talking about because, yeah, that took a long time. But anyway, now Jesus started on his way with him. And when he was not far from the house, the centurion sent his friends saying, "No, you can't come because racism." You know, listen, if I get caught with you at my house, I lose my job, because people don't like you, terrible ass God people. But I know you can do what people say you can do, but you're still one of these people. So don't come. Now, Jesus, hearing this, he marveled, like, "Oh, well, yeah, racism is a thing," and turned and said to the multitude that was following him, "Look, I'm telling you, not even in Jewland have I found such great faith." And when those who had been sent returned to the house, they found the slave in good health. And it came about soon afterwards that he went into the city called Nain, and his disciples were going along with him, accompanied by a large multitude. Now he approached the gate of the city. Behold, a dead man was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a sizable crowd from the city was with her. And when the Lord saw her, he felt compassion for her and said, "No, don't weep." And then he touched the coffin, and he touched the coffin, and the bears came to a halt and said, "Young man, get up." Yeah. And then he came, and the dead man sat up and began to speak as Jesus gave him back to his mother. And fear gripped them all, and they began glorifying God, saying, "This is the fucking shit." Oh, this is so awesome. God is good all the time. And this report concerning him went out all over Judea and all the surrounding Jewland. And the disciples of John reported to him about all these things. And summoning two of his disciples, he sent them to God the third, Jesus, saying, "Are you him or, no?" And when the men had come to him, they said, John le Baptiste baptized Jesus and told everybody that he was the guy, right? But now here in prison, he's reassuring himself, right? He's like, I know I baptized you, but I need to double check. Are you him or not? Hold on. And when the men had come to him, they were like, are you the guy? That very time, he cured many people of diseases and afflictions of evil spirits, and he granted sight to many who were blind. And he answered them, do your own research. Come along with me, and then you can tell them. Right? And wait, do your own research and then go and tell him that the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he who keeps from stumbling over me. And when the messengers of Jean left, he spoke to the multitude about Jean. Where am I at? Oh, yeah. What did you go out in the desert? Wow, what the fuck? What did you go out into the wilderness to look at? A reed shaken by the wind? But what did you go out to see? A man dressed in soft clothing. Behold, those who are splendidly clothed live in luxury are found in royal palaces. But what did you go out to see? A prophet? Yep, but more than a prophet. This is the one about whom it is written, behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will proclaim, no, who will prepare your way before you. Listen, I'm telling you, among those born of women, there is no one greater than Jean. Yet, he who is least in the kingdom of God is greater than he. Yeah, they go to front of line. Ha ha. Yes. The people who feel like shit will be in the line. All of us sheep dressed like wolves. We will be in front of line. Yeah, man. Feel fucking special, man. How special is that? You'll be in front of line. Ozzy Osbourne's on the front of the line, believe it. Yep. As much as people say his music is devil music, if you pay attention to the words, he's on God's side. He is in front of line. And I'll believe that forever because Ozzy is a big ass weirdo, sheep just like wolf. Him and Alice Cooper. They're sheep dressed like wolves. They fit in to get in, man. Fucking right. Sure do. Okay. In the kingdom of God. And when all the people and the tax gatherers heard this, they acknowledged God's justice and how awesome front of line is, having been baptized with the baptism of John. But the Pharisees and the lawyers rejected God's purpose for themselves, not having been baptized by John. To what then shall I compare the men of this generation? And what are they like? I don't understand this parable at all. Yes. Yeah. Firefly, you get it. Yeah. Okay, Ricky, that's fine. Yeah. Firefly, are you following along in your brand new Bible? Your Avon Bible? Instead of the Avon Cadillac, you got an Avon Bible. It's big as fuck. And that thing looks pretty groovy too. I draw all over it. Don't draw on it. Yeah, because the poor people go to front of line. And back at this time, a lot of the rich people that people knew or know were really greedy because that's how these terrible ass God people are. They're fucking greedy, you know? So the rich among these people are definitely going to back of line because these people don't give a shit about anybody. That's why God don't like them. But we haven't got that far and we're not rewinding that far yet. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I need to keep my fucking opinions to myself, is what I need to do. I need to shut the fuck up. I do need to shut the fuck up, but these people suck. Yes, they do suck, but you gotta shut up. I shut up. I'm gonna shut up. I don't remember where I'm at. Okay. Uh, and the Pharisees and the lawyers. Okay. And he's like, what do I compare this to? And I don't understand this. They're like children who sit in the marketplace and call to one another and they say, we have played this shit for you and you did not dance. We sang a sad song to you and you did not weep. For Jean le Baptiste has come, eating no bread and drinking no wine. And you say he's a demon. The Son of Man has come, eating and drinking. And you say, behold, he is gluttonous and drunkard, a friend of tax gatherers and sinners. Yeah, yeah, wisdom is vindicated by all her children. A to the fucking menu. Yeah. Now, one of the Pharisees was questioning him to dine with him. Now, wait, where am I at in life? Okay. Now, and he entered. Oh, okay. So the Pharisee wanted Jesus to come to his house. So Jesus came to the Pharisee's house and reclined at the table. And there, and behold, there was a woman in the city who was a sinner. And when she learned that he was reclining at the table in the Pharisee's house, she brought an alabaster vial of perfume and standing behind, oh God, and standing behind him at his feet, weeping, she began to wet his feet with her tears and kept wiping them with the hair of her head and kissing his feet and anointing them with perfume. Now, when the Pharisees saw, now when the Pharisee who invited him saw this, he said, if this man were a prophet, he would know who and what sort of person this woman is. She is a sinner. And Jesus said, Simon, I have something to say to you. And he was like, okay. A certain money lender had two debtors. One owed 500 and the other 50. And when they were unable to repay, he graciously forgave them both. Therefore, which will love him more? And Simon answered, I suppose the one whom he forgave more. And Jesus like, okay. And turning toward the woman, he said, Simon, do you see this woman? I entered your house, and you gave me no water for my feet, but she has wet my feet with her tears and wiped them with her hair. You gave me no kiss, but she, since the time I've come in, has not stopped kissing my feet. You did not anoint my head with oil, but she anoints my feet with perfume. For this reason, I'm telling you, her sins, which are many, have been forgiven, for she loved much. But he who is forgiven little loves little. And he said to her, you're fine. And those who were reclining at the table began to say, who is this? How can he forgive sins? And he said to the woman, you're fine. Your faith is fine. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. So, what do we think about that? Well, we'll do chapter 8 tomorrow. Luke writes too much, man. I think he has the longest chapter in book 2. The longest chapter is so long. All right, Feather. Wait. Whose children? I don't know. What do you say? I don't know what's happening. Yeah. I don't think he's got to that part in the story of Luke yet. Yeah, no, we haven't got that far into Luke. But he's going to say that eventually. Hopefully, he says that whole thing. But I know he's going to do some more talking. The feet washing thing is coming up. When he explains in full detail what's going to happen to him. It's stupid, and it's going to be a lot of full detail about what happened to Jesus, and that's going to be fucking terrible. I'm not looking forward to any of that. Oh, wisdom's children. It's like the whole, like, tree bears good fruit. Like, whatever you do wisely that turns out good would be a child of wisdom. Like, Proverbs. Proverbs would be children of wisdom. Or something like Proverbs. Yeah, look at my face. Why do I look like that? Now I'm trying to see what you guys are reading. I'm not very good at reading. Well, I am very good at reading, except for like when it's two of them, like because I see double a lot, so it's hard to see. Sorry for my face. Anyway, so what are you guys up to? Oh shit, hold on. Is that okay? I want to highlight it or something. What is it? Luke 7:35. What does it say? We'll be there tomorrow. But let's read it right now, I guess. Right? Oh, did we already read chapter 7? Oh, we already did read chapter 7. Yeah, wisdom is vindicated by all her children. Yeah, her ideas that come true. Yeah, especially with Solomon. Look, apparently the songs of Solomon are not about girls, they're about wisdom. But I'm telling you, if wisdom looked like anything that he's describing, I'm sure nobody would sleep with her even if they were drunk. So I would prefer wisdom did not look like that, have a belly button the size of a saucer and hairy titties. It is a whole thing, and I'm telling you, it's my favorite book. I can't wait to get there. You know the songs of Solomon, right, Nicole? Nicole Slaw. That's the best ever. Um, I should say, has anybody else ever read the Songs of Solomon? Because that is the best fucking book. It really is. Because the girl that he's writing about, she has purple hair, hairy titties, she's fat, she's got a giant belly button, and she's got all kinds of messed up teeth, but at least they're white. Yeah, Songs of Solomon is, I'm telling you, it's funny because of that girl. It is. It is very poetic and very, it is a not, it's like ancient sexting. You know what I mean? It's very naughty. And I don't know, I suppose if you said those songs are about wisdom, Solomon wants to do really freaky things to wisdom. uh, yeah, it is a naughty book. It's like ancient porn. And if they picked those songs out, I wonder how bad the other ones were. It is. It's ancient porn. Yeah. But I'm telling you, man, I can't wait to get to that book. Yeah, yeah, she's a busted woman too. Listen, if I knew how to draw, I would try to draw. what he's saying this woman looks like because she's busted. Well, were you supposed to work? Well, only if you were supposed to work do you need to say what you were doing. Yeah, but I don't think wisdom is a goddess. I think they're just showing. I'm not exactly sure why Solomon is making wisdom a woman or speaking of wisdom like it's a woman. I'm not exactly sure. I personally don't think those songs are about a woman or those songs are about wisdom. Those songs are like ancient, like I think it's like sexting because they're duets, right? The man, Solomon, sings one part about how busted this chick is and she's so beautiful. And then there's a girl that sings talking about her brothers don't like her because she has a flat chest. Look, those books are not that those songs are naughty. I don't think they're about wisdom at all. I think that they just use that as an excuse to keep that naughty shit in there. I think those are baby making songs. Like if there was ancient R&B, the songs of Solomon would be R&B. Yeah, I just want to keep thinking that it's ancient porn. Like, it's baby making music. I think it's baby making music because the girl that sings in those songs, she's talking about having a flat chest and her brothers make her Cinderella because she ain't got no titties. Look, it's a whole thing. Look, I can't wait to get to that book. But I believe you, Nicole Saw, that it probably is something like that, like love for somebody and but that girl the girl that the duet in the song, the girl part, she she says people pick on her for no reason. It is. Yeah. Look, just wait till we get there, Ricky. We're gonna get there. We just got to finish the story of David after we finish the story of Jesus. Man. No, I did say she has hairy titties and her brothers hate her because she don't have any titties. It's a whole thing. Just wait till we get there. Or if you have a Bible near, just read the Songs of Solomon because that's baby making music. But look, I'm not really sure about like the picture that he's trying to paint because he doesn't really ever say anything about God or wisdom. He doesn't use those words. So it's kind of hard for me not being versed in religious shit. To me, it looks like baby making music because I don't see any redeeming qualities in these terrible ass people. So I can't imagine anybody writing a love song about them. Look, it's a whole duet. If you get your hands on a Bible, just read the Songs of Solomon and then tell me what you think. Yeah, yeah. Hair like a flock of goats. Yeah. And then she's got a busted grill, like her teeth are on top of each other. He calls them like twin goats that were whitewashed. Oh, man. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, Nicole Slaw, you know all this shit. You, you should be my partner streaming because you'll be like, yeah, or no, Nikki, shut up. That's not what that means. And I'll be like, it does mean that. And then you'll be like, no, it don't. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. No, don't fuck shit. Look, look, fucking shit. A is gross and B, no. You need to stay and hang out and uh listen to us talk about this woman in the Songs of Solomon. But I don't know, eventually we're gonna run out of ways to describe this woman. Yeah, yeah. And they also talk about God Senior on his fiery throne. Yeah, they talk about him in Ezekiel, God Senior. They call him Ancient God. There's God Senior, and then God Junior, and then Jesus, God the Third. Yeah, it's a whole thing. And I actually want to read Ezekiel. I've only read it one time. Um, but mostly because I wanted to know, because apparently in the Jew book that they made up when they were in Babylon, It says something about Ezekiel ate his own feces and drank his own pee, and that's how he got to have those experiences with God. Is he I'm guessing he poisoned himself with his own pee. I don't exactly know, but apparently in that other book, he does some gross shit to have visions and prophecies and whatnot. And they banned people from doing what Ezekiel did to have a vision. Although in Das Bible, it doesn't say anything about he did anything. But apparently in that book they made up in Babylon, it says something about that. Yeah. Oh, um, actually, you can tell when the writers change by the way that the writing is. You can tell that a different person is writing it. But I can tell you, all through the story of David, it was one guy called Jehoshaphat who wrote David's whole story. That was not written by multiple people. That was literally written by one guy called Jehoshaphat, and he signed it. Like, who was a priest, who was a scribe, who was this, and who was that at the end of David. And it's the same guy. Well, actually, it's the same guys and with David and the whole story. But in the story of Moses, remember, bunches of people get killed all the time. So I'm sure some of the recorders also got caught up in that shit. So that book was written by a few people. And because it wasn't written by Moses, it was written by somebody else, many somebody else's. And I don't remember the other books, but I'm sure that was written by multiple people, also multiple recorders. Did you know the recorder in your city is probably the most important guy in all of government because he literally writes history? That's a good guy to know so you can know your history of where you're at. The recorder knows it. Oh, shit. It just came through. Thank you, girls. Or maybe it came through a while ago. I don't know. But thank you, girls. Thank you. I appreciate that highly. Yeah. But do you want the person writing your history on drugs? No. The people that were picked to record things are very important people. And they got to be very, very right on point. Because remember, the people that they're writing for are kings or high up people. And I think the only reason Moses was really even the leader is because he's actual royalty. He is the Pharaoh's grandson. Well, step grandson. Well, kind of. Yeah. He wasn't really related to the pharaoh, but because he was with the pharaoh, he got that status. And if you were taking the history of that guy, would you really want to fuck it up? Because you know he's going to read it after you write it. But that's all that I don't know any of that to be true, but I do know that the recorders are highly important, and I'm sure important people wouldn't want lies about their history. Like if the yeah, and you know what? When John wrote Revelations, you know he was on drugs. Like he was on he licked every magic mushroom there was and wrote a book steady talking shit about all the people who boiled him and threw him on an island. He talked so much shit. Man, I can't wait to read that book again. I've been so scared of that book my whole life, but I read it for the first time and was like, "Oh, this is fucking great. It's the best book in the and book 3 of this trilogy." I mean, what do you girls think? Nicole Nicole Slum, Firefly. What do you guys think? You think John the Baptist? No. You think John licked every magic mushroom he could when he wrote that book? It is a book of steady shit talking. Oh shit. Did I kill Chad again? Damn it. I do that a lot. I'm a Chad killer. I'm a Chad killer. Shit talker. Bible reading. Oh, you can't read Genesis without me. Ah, look, go back in my live streams. I'm sure there's the first live stream is Genesis 1. Revelations is wild. Yeah. You know, Dustin told me that. And did you know in one of these books, the cherubim are little cows? Did you know that cherubims are little cows? They're tiny little milk cows. They're so cool. I don't remember what book that's in, but I was like, them old school cartoons. You remember them when the little flying things were cows? Yeah, I think the angels are cows. Oh yeah, and God writes piggyback on those eyeball things. Yeah, sure does. He goes north, south, east, west, all at the same time, riding piggyback on those eyeball things. Dude, just wait till we get there. I think that, well, if you spent all of your life fighting demons, do you think you would look pretty? Just that's one of those things. Fighting demons makes you age. And I don't I don't think those are the angels that look like that. I think angels look like little spirit balls, you know? Yep. But then again, like, I don't know. Mm, and also, if you were like a resurrected being, when you look all dead and shit, anyways, like, eh. What one paragraph? One paragraph you think. Hold on. Okay. Open minded to get in there. I think when you're reading the Bible, you can't be all emotional or you'll miss the forest for the trees. You only focus on the red words. Jesus says the red words. You don't bother with the context of what he's saying that for. That's why the Mormons really piss me off because they just take one thing out of context and then justify the bullshit that they're doing because this one verse out of context said that I shouldn't say all Mormons, just the Mormons that hurt their kids and then get in trouble. And then they read things like the Sermon on the Mount out of fucking context. And they're like, oh, that's about me being punished for hurting my kids. No, the Bible is about what will happen if you start talking about Jesus in the wrong place. You know what I mean? That, and I shouldn't say Mormon. A lot of the cult leaders and shit take some of this stuff out of context in this book. And then people hate God because some dude said something that Jesus said in the red words, and then they use that to justify their bullshit instead of reading it all in context. And really, if you're going to read the Bible, you just got to read it like a story. And then shit starts coming to you as you're reading it. But if you only focus on a little bit of it and just read it when you're upset and you don't get past page one because of the way it's written to confuse you, you you can't be emotional when you read the Bible because it'll never work. Like, yeah, like Ricky said, you got to be open minded. But I don't think there's a greater meaning. I just think there are lessons that you could take out of this book for certain situations, you know. And Jesus is showing us you just talk shit all the way through. Just fuck it, whatever you're going through, just talk shit. I mean, I don't know if that made sense, Ricky, but it just, anytime anybody tries to read the Bible, they only read the red words, what Jesus said, but they never read why Jesus said that. They never read the whole fucking story. Even if they just read one of these books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, you would definitely see how Jesus handled a lot of this stuff. First, he was strong in his convictions and he was straightforward. He didn't try to lie about anything. He didn't do any of that. And like if you're gonna take a lesson from Jesus, it would be stand up straight and know what the fuck you're talking about. You know, not necessarily have an answer for everything, but at least sound like you know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm only slightly brain damaged. I think my brain healed itself. I don't know. I just wish that big ass hole would fill in with other brain. Wouldn't that be sweet if my brain could grow itself back together? Think I would be smarter if it did? Man, I bet I would be smarter if my brain grew back. But then again, I'm thinking about that. I think if my brain grew back, that I would be different than I am right now, and I don't I don't want my brain to grow back. Hey, hey, that's what the fuck I just said. Oh well, I didn't just fucking say that, but I've said it all before. Look, these stupid ass rules. And don't be gay. That is not fucking true. And Jesus didn't say a motherfucking thing about being gay. And Jesus said the rules that they made up are fake. They were made up by man. They are not God's rules. God's rules are the 10 commandments. All that other shit they made up because they got offended by something or somebody caught them doing something. And so they made it a law that don't do that because they didn't want to get in trouble or they didn't want anybody else to have enjoyment. You know, they try to keep the people down. And everybody always says this to me. Religion was made to control people. It control people. Anti-gay is God. God is anti-gay and the Bible doesn't like it. Look, fuck all the way off because the only person that said anything about being gay is Paul. And that's because Paul was secretly gay. He was fornicating all over the fucking place, even when his sons got there. And like, I'm not gay, nor was I gay for the stay. I was not. But as long as you're not chopping your titties off and you're not cutting out your vagina to grow a wang and chopping your pecker off for the fuck of it, you're totally cool with me. But if you get on to all that weird shit about cutting body parts off, I will tell you you're stupid. Just don't do that. Don't do that because you definitely can't come to my church if you do that because I don't want to hear how sad you are about you did it. Which is usually what happens. Because if you're not happy with yourself one way, you're not going to be happy with yourself another way. So become happy with yourself before you start mutilating yourself. Sorry, I'm off my soapbox. I'm a bit out of pocket. And also, because Dustin said uh something about God's sacrifice or whatever. And it's like, yeah, do you realize a lot of religions back then were sacrificing people? And God is the only, well, this religion is the only religion that doesn't sacrifice people at this time. They sacrifice. What was I saying? I don't like this medicine because it makes me forget what the fuck I'm thinking. I don't like this medicine. I don't know what I was saying. Well, fuck it. Let's talk about something else. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. This terrible God people sacrifice is the only sacrifice that deals with animals. And as much as I don't like these people, they kind of got it right with the not sacrificing people. And as soon as this religion hit the mainstream, they stopped sacrificing people. And that, if there is no good that comes from Das Bible, at least people aren't doing that anymore. No, yeah, yeah, don't self-mutilate yourself. Come here and find a reason to love yourself. Because even though we look scary, we're not that scary. We'll take our wolf costumes off. Wait, where did the girls go? Wait, where's the girls? Nicole Slaw, Firefly. Okay. I'm too stoned to form a coherent thought, but my words are fine. I'm still standing better than I ever been. Yeah, I'm glad you're still here. But yeah, yeah, if you can't find a reason to love you, I don't even need a reason. And I love you. Although, I got to work on that with the people in my life. See, I love you, strangers, but the people in my life, I kind of don't care for. That's mostly not true. Except for sometimes it's really hard to love these motherfuckers. But I try. So, Firefly, how's your vape? Hey, Nicole Slaw, do you smoke or no? I'm still standing better than ever been. I don't even know. Well, yeah, you are in my life, but you're not in my immediate space. But if you were in my immediate space, I'm sure you might get aggravating at times too. Hey, hey, we all got personality disorders. My personality disorder is I'm too much personality. No, I'm too much disorder than personality. Yeah. Man, why does that hurt? Damn. You need to smoke better weed then. You can come buy some from me. I think I live like 2 hours from you. But, but, if you come here, you would fall in love with my backyard and be like, yep, I'm getting married here. Man, damn. Well, I don't remember the first time I smoked weed, but I know it was out of a pop can. Use it like a bowl. Yeah, it was a whole thing. I'm still standing. Why is that song stuck in my head? I don't even know because I don't even know the words of that song. Elton John sings that song, right? Huh. I don't know. Hi, everyone. Press like and subscribe and chat in the chat. Or if you're on replay crew, comment. I remember not too long ago, good times. Yeah. Good times indeed. Oh, hard booze. Yeah. Be careful around that hard booze, man. You end up in a domestic violence situation and then bam, you have felonies. Stay away from that. Yeah. Hard be allergic to hard booze because you'll wake up in handcuffs. Stay highly allergic to that shit. I think I've got in April it'll be 14 years sober, but not from alcohol, from smoking crack and doing cocaine. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. But I didn't rub my feet on anybody's couch. That's fucking weird. But what's his face did that? Rick James rubbed his feet all over somebody's couch doing cocaine. Charlie Murphy at his couch. 'Cause- 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 ' Yeah, see, stay away from that shit. Tequila makes her clothes fall off, but it also makes people break out in handcuffs. Man, dude, I used to go to ICP concerts and have 2 shots of tequila and end up crowd surfing, and all my clothes would come off crowd surfing. Do you know people purposely try to take your pants off when you're crowd surfing? That's why you don't crowd surf. You end up fucking naked. It's a whole thing. Yeah, always escape. Yeah, stay away from it. I bet it did. No, you know how I got sober? I threw myself in prison. I told the judge, if you let me go, I'll bring you breakfast tomorrow. Or you could just send me to prison and then I could get my education. Yeah, going to prison and getting my education got my court fines down to 0. And I did 2 years in prison and cleared my name completely for drug possession. I don't have a felony, so I could probably buy a gun, but I'm too emotional for a gun. Hmm, I don't know. That, yep. And you know what? I didn't have to go through any of those stupid withdrawals. Like, I watch girls go through that shit. I'm telling you, they smell so bad. Mm. They smell like diarrhea mixed with vomit. And they stink. They stink when they come off drugs. Oh, it's terrible. August 8th, it'll be 2 years sober. Fuck yeah, we'll celebrate, dude. Because mine is April 17th. That's also the day I got out of prison. Yeah. I got sober April 17th, 2012 was my first day. And the day I got out of prison was April 17th, 2015. Man, look, that 2 years sober, that's really hard to get. Look, look, 2 years sober. Luckily for me, since I've been out of prison and sober, I've never had to say no to a drug since I've been sober because nobody lets me go out of the house because I make friends with the worst people and then I end up on drugs. So I've I'm not allowed out of my house. So I've never had to say no to a drug. So I have yet to be tempted to do a drug. I still think about it and I still dream about it, but it's not something that comes into my life that I have to say no to. People keep me very protected from that, having to say no. So I can't imagine being able to go outside and shit and be inundated with like drugs and well, in your case it would be liquor. I've I've never had to say no. I've never had the opportunity to say no. So you are way tougher than me if you've stayed sober for 2 years and having that stuff easily accessible is the word I think. So you are way tougher than me. I have 13 pussy years sober. because I've never had to go through any of the things other people who get sober have to go through because my family keeps me um separated, or I don't know the word. They just keep that from around me to where I wouldn't even know who to go to if I did want to do drugs. I would have to go to Dustin. Like, hey, can you find me some drugs? And he would kiss my ass. Yeah. I Like I said, I've never had to say no. It'd be like somebody who never learned how to fight going up against somebody who is like an expert fighter. You know what I mean? So it'd be me going up against a drug dealer. But because I've never had to go up against a drug dealer to say no, it's like I I have it. I'm just a pussy because I can't go out there and say no. I've never had to. Which kind of makes I'm kind of cheating when I say I've been sober for a long time. I've never had the opportunity to say no. uh, yeah, don't give it up because you have Firefly in here. If you were going to give it up, don't give it up in this chat. She'll be like, guys, I become strictly dickly. And I'll be like, Firefly's not in here, right? Oh, Wheels didn't even show up. Man, I sent him a thingy, Bob. Yeah. Well, sober is sober. And I guess why I call myself a pussy is because staying sober in like a real situation is extremely hard. Extremely fucking hard. And that's why people relapse all the time because it's easy. It's just easier to go and get it and just say fuck it. But because I've never had that opportunity to even do that, I'm saying pussy sober. Uh, it's all right. Now you can tell us you're strictly dickly. uh, man. But Nicole Slaw, that I don't know. I still think that 2 years sober, my 13 years sober has nothing on your 2 years sober, dude. Oh, yeah. I've seen that's what I'm saying. I've never had to come up against that. Right. Right. That's why I say you're tougher than me. I'm pussy sober. I've And Ricky, that's the shit I'm talking about. Like, I've never had to do that. I couldn't imagine, like, dumping my neighbor's crack in my toilet. I, I, I don't know if I would have the strength to do that. I honestly, I don't know. because I've never been faced with that before. And it was hard, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't know if I could do that. Man, this is like, this is a deep ass conversation because it's a, I've never thought about other people's sobriety before, but there's a lot of people that are like, I've been sober 3 months, and I never, until right now, understood how hard that has to be to stay sober in the real world. I just sit here in the party pen, and nothing affects me. Nothing has the opportunity to affect me. Man, yeah, yeah, it's hard. I don't personally know how hard it is, but I know what liquor does to people. And I know that liquor is something you should stay away from. Although you will catch me dumping 2 shots of Kahlua in my coffee. But that's only when my neighbor feels bad for me. Like, can I please have some? But she's like, only a shot. Man. Yeah, willpower sucks. I have zero willpower. But I suppose my days of learning candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker. No, that isn't that from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? I never understood that until like 8 years after that movie was made. And I think my dad, oh, speaking of my dad, yeah, well, I'm what you call a California sober, but hold on. Oh, yeah, my dad has skin cancer. I should say, no, I don't drink all the time. Like, really, I'm not supposed to be drinking at all because of my seizure pills. But occasionally, I can get my neighbor to I can get my neighbor to give me some Kahlua. I should quit calling myself sober because I mean, no, I gotta call myself sober because I am off crack. I am off cocaine. I am off pain pills. I am off angel dust. I'm off PCP. I'm off all that shit. Yeah. But I smoke weed and I only drink Kahlua. And it's occasionally, again, when my neighbor feels bad for me. And I smoke cigarettes like it's nobody's business. And I smoke weed like it's Snoop Dogg's business. Although I have to tell you, I don't think I could outsmoke Snoop Dogg because I'm sure he smokes indica and I can't smoke too much indica because I get too high and I fall asleep. And he should be okay. Yeah, but I don't do it anymore. Did you know the first time I ever did PCP? Yeah, I was crying so hard. Somebody bought me a bus ticket, you know, to ride the city bus. And I was crying so hard that that bus driver drove me to the house I was staying at, which was like 4 cities away. But I was crying so hard. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Yeah. I don't see what I'm thinking is Snoop Dogg smokes indica. And indica, if you smoke indica a lot, your tolerance goes up for it. So I think that because Snoop Dogg smokes a high amount of THC indica, his body is used to that tolerance level. So if you were going to smoke with Snoop Dogg, you better be at the same tolerance level. And I smoke sativa. See, indica is like the heroin of weed. It is a steady downer. But sativa is like the cocaine of weed. It's a super upper. But you know what, Nicole Saw? I haven't seen PCP or angel dust or dippers or anything like that here where I'm at in Ohio. Nobody even smokes that shit. So I wouldn't even be able to find it if I wanted to because nobody has that kind of shit around here. Yeah. See, I'm high energy. Well, not anymore, but I used to be. And I'm highly talkative. But no, I think indica makes me think too much. That's what it is. That's just, it makes me so down and I think too much. it's probably not a bad thing, but it is. How do you say it is? It is different than the East Coast. You would think like the bumpkins over here in Ohio would have shit like that because there's nothing to fucking do. You think they would be on angel dust and dippers and shit like that because nobody's really on meth there in the East Coast. Oh yeah. For forgetting about pain, indica is really good about that. Forgetting you're in pain. Oh shit. All right. We got to get ready to go, guys. Let's hit this one more time. First, let me find my lighter. I think on the West Coast it's meth because I know all up in Oregon it's meth, like Utah and shit, it's meth. Hmm. But I think the East Coast, they like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. The East Coast is different. I know New York City is the scariest place I've ever been. Queens, Queens is the scariest place I've ever been. I guess it's not New York City, it'd be Manhattan, right? Queens is in Manhattan. Oh, that bowl is dirty as shit. Yeah, yeah. It's something about like the Midwest and shit. Something about over here people like opiates. And on the East Coast, people like mind altering shit, weird shit. And on the West Coast, they they love that meth and shit. Although meth is really bad here in Ohio too. Well, I guess meth is like an everywhere thing, but I didn't see it a lot on the East Coast. Well, I didn't see it at all on the East Coast. Everybody was smoking crack or taking PCP. Where are you at on the East Coast? Damn. Yeah. Shrooms is another thing in Michigan. Here we are trying to figure out the drugs. Uh-huh. I wouldn't mind taking shrooms because I did try not too long ago um DMT. I wouldn't mind trying that again. I did try acid right after my brain surgery, and instead of going on an amazing trip, I went into 7 seizures and took a trip to the hospital. Look, I'll never take acid again. And I took mushrooms one time here. I only took one, and then I fell asleep. Dawson was so mad. He's like, "You wasted mushroom." Like, man, I was sleeping. New York is the scariest fucking place. I went to um the um New Jersey Atlantic City Casino. I stayed in a $500 suite that overlooked whatever golf thing is behind the Hera's motel. I left my ID and pack of cigarettes there. They kicked me out of the room. Said you can't have girls in here. Like, why the fuck not? New York, to be as big as it sounds, is a really tiny fucking place, but it's scary. You never know what the fuck is gonna happen. And maybe it was just me that I was scared that I didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen. Probably. I think it was only scary in my mind. It might not have been scary to other people, but in my mind, that shit was scary. The buildings were so big. I never saw a building that big before. Oh, you lived in the nice part? Itchy, 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 itchy. Oh. Oh, so you was in the ghetto. See, when they say Berg and Orange County, it's like, those sound like Newburgh. So it was the ghetto. Why does that sound like it's nice? Like it's a good place. Wait. So New York's Orange County is like California's Orange County. Mm, man. So when you and Firefly get married, are you guys gonna live where you are or where she is? You should come to Ohio. You have friends here. And God knows I could use a fucking friend. Maybe one with a car and we could go see Ricky. Orange County is mostly farms. Mm. So it's not like California's Orange County. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Move where she is, because that's like, I don't know how far it is from my house. Oh, the homicide problem in Cincinnati. Well, it's highly emotional people with guns. That's you know, it's people with mental health problems that are highly emotional that should get help before they turn homicidal, you know? Like everybody wants to talk about free this and free that. How about free mental health services? So you don't have emotional people running around with guns. And then that would solve the homicide problem, you know, have some free counselors, you know, have city funded mental health instead of or state funded mental health instead of state funded murder, you know. How about we talk about something real? How about real health care? Mental health is actual health care, not killing babies. Killing babies is not health care. Trying to get rid of your mistake is not health care. It's called not taking responsibility for yourself. There's no personal responsibility, you know, which means it's nobody else's responsibility either. But I'm telling you, mental health is actual health care. And we should be giving state funded mental health care to people. So you don't have these emotional goons running around with fucking guns acting like they got a big dick. No, send them to therapy so they can learn how small their dick really is. Don't send them to prison. They just learn how to crime better. See, I'm on my soapbox. See, things put me on my soapbox. I'm going to get off my soapbox. And, like, I don't know. I'm not. It's just sometimes everybody complains about mental illness, mental illness. Well, state funds some mental illness so you don't have these fucking over emotional tool bags, douchebags, fucking running around with weapons they shouldn't have in the first place with no purpose, even though they could find the purpose easily. But because they're beat down with this shit, everybody's racist, racism, this and that shit that doesn't exist where they are. And then they want to give them these stupid programs. Anger management. I've been in anger management since I was 13 years old, and I tell you what, I'm still fucking angry. And I have no idea why. I have all the tools that they gave me. I know how to use them, and I use them. I'm so fucking angry, you know? But I got a therapist, and now I'm slightly less angry. You know what I mean? And that should be something people think about over this killing your mistake. Because you feel bad that you had drunken sex with some guy and let him come in you. And now you regret your decision. So now a baby gets to lose its life because why? Because you can't keep your legs shut. And murder is not legal anywhere. Why is it legal? Because her body, her choice. Well, condoms are also a choice. Keeping your legs closed is also a choice. I need to get off my soapbox. I think that's Dustin. I think I might have woke Dustin up. Oops. I don't know. Anyway, is anybody still here? Are we ready to go to bed? Now that I got off my soapbox and killed chat. And I don't even know how we got on the abortion topic. I apologize for that. Okay. Okay. I got to hit the outro. Okay. Hitting the outro.